Imagine waking up tomorrow with the power to change your entire life. What if I told you that in just 21 days, you could radically transform your mindset, your energy, your focus, your entire reality? Sounds impossible, right? Well, it's not. In fact, it's not only possible, it's backed by science, and it's simpler than you think. Let me take you on a journey. In the next few minutes, I'm going to share with you 6 small habits. That's right, just 6. And each of them has the potential to change the way you think, act, and feel on a daily basis. 6 habits that, when practiced consistently for just 21 days, can shift your brain's neurochemistry and physiology in ways that will leave you wondering why you haven't started sooner. This is your opportunity, and it's easier to begin than you might believe. Habit number 1, the power of morning sunlight. You've heard people say, get outside, get some sun. But why is this so critical? It's about resetting your circadian rhythm. When you wake up and expose yourself to natural sunlight, ideally within the first 30 minutes of your day, you send a signal to your brain that it's time to get going. Your brain releases dopamine, the neurotransmitter that governs motivation and pleasure. That burst of dopamine, paired with the natural rhythms of light, supercharges your focus and energy for the rest of the day. It's not just a feel-good habit, it's a neurobiological reset, and it's free. 21 days of this can literally change how you show up in the world. Next, let's talk about hydration and its impact on cognitive function. This might sound like common sense, but too many people overlook the brain's need for water. The brain is about 75% water, and even mild dehydration can cause cognitive decline, reduced focus, and increased stress. Starting your day with a glass of water, even before your coffee, sets the stage for better clarity, better mood, and a sharper mind. Make this a daily practice, and you'll begin to notice not only your mental clarity increasing, but your energy levels soaring as well. The third habit, intentional movement. This doesn't mean you need to hit the gym for an hour or run a marathon. Just 10 minutes of intentional movement, stretching, walking, or light exercise can reset your nervous system. When you engage your body in movement early in the day, you start your nervous system, flood your body with endorphins, and enhance your mental clarity. The key here is consistency. Just 10 minutes a day for 21 days can be a game changer in how you feel physically and mentally. Now, onto something that's often overlooked, the power of deep breathing. In a world filled with distractions and constant stress, it's easy to forget that our bodies need rest, even in the middle of the chaos. When you engage in deep, slow breathing, you activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for calming your body and reducing stress. A simple 5-minute breathing practice, where you inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7, and exhale for 8, can reset your nervous system. This isn't just about calming yourself in a moment of stress. It's about training your body to stay calm and focused no matter what comes your way. And trust me, over the course of 21 days, this will begin to transform your approach to challenges and stress. Habit number 5, journaling with purpose. It sounds almost too simple, but writing down your thoughts, goals, and reflections daily has a profound impact on your mental state. Journaling helps you externalize your thoughts, which clears mental clutter, improves emotional regulation, and enhances focus. Set aside just 5 to 10 minutes each day to reflect on your goals, what you're grateful for, and what you've learned. In 21 days, you will find that this habit not only boosts your creativity and emotional intelligence, but it also makes you more resilient in the face of challenges. And finally, sleep, proper sleep hygiene. This isn't just about getting enough sleep, but about improving the quality of your sleep. Sleep is the most powerful tool your body and brain have for recovery, and yet, most people don't understand the importance of good sleep hygiene. That means no screens an hour before bed, keeping your room dark, and maintaining a consistent sleep schedule. When you consistently prioritize high-quality sleep, your memory, focus, mood, and energy levels skyrocket. In fact, 21 days of improving your sleep hygiene can make you feel like a completely different person. It's the foundation upon which all of the other habits rest. Each of these 6 habits, when practiced for just 21 days, will begin to rewire your brain and body for success. This isn't about major life changes or radical shifts in your routine. It's about the power of small, consistent actions compounded over time. The science behind these habits is clear, and the results speak for themselves. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent and patient with yourself. You don't need to do everything all at once. Pick one, start small, and build on it. Just 21 days. That's all it takes to unlock a version of yourself you never thought possible. Imagine waking up to a world where the first action you take in your day not only boosts your energy, but primes your brain for peak performance. Now, consider this. One of the most powerful and underutilized tools to start your day right is something incredibly simple: getting outside and exposing yourself to natural sunlight within the first 30 minutes of waking up. This isn't just a feel-good suggestion, it's grounded in solid neuroscience. When sunlight hits your eyes in the morning, it triggers a cascade of biological processes that reset your circadian rhythm, the internal clock that governs your sleep-wake cycles. This light exposure signals to your brain that it's time to wake up and be alert. It's like a natural switch that turns on your brain's ability to focus and stay energized. But here's the catch. This isn't just about exposure to light, it's about the timing. You need that early sunlight to hit your eyes directly. When this happens, it activates specialized cells in your retina that communicate with the brain's hypothalamus, which in turn influences your production of neurotransmitters like dopamine, serotonin, and cortisol. Dopamine, of course, is the motivation molecule, responsible for driving goal, directed behavior, focus, and the feeling of pleasure that comes with accomplishment. When you get that sunlight early, you start the day with a surge of motivation that lasts much longer than you might expect. And it gets better. This early sunlight exposure not only wakes you up mentally but physically too. It helps regulate your body's production of melatonin, the hormone that governs sleep. By getting sunlight in the morning, you're ensuring that melatonin levels drop when they should during the day, so that when night falls, your body is primed to rest and recover. This simple habit aligns your body with the natural rhythms of the planet, which ultimately results in better sleep quality and more sustainable energy throughout the day. In just 21 days, consistently practicing this one habit of early sunlight exposure can transform how you feel throughout the day. You'll notice an increase in energy, a decrease in sluggishness, and even an improvement in mood. It's a small step, just a brief walk outside or sitting near a window for a few minutes, but it sets the foundation for the rest of your day, creating a momentum that will carry you forward. It's a life-changing habit that costs nothing but gives you everything. Now, let's talk about something we all need but often overlook: hydration. You might think of water as just a way to quench your thirst, but the truth is, hydration is far more critical than most people realize. The brain, for example, is about 75% water, and even mild dehydration can significantly impair cognitive function. So, let me ask you this: how often do you drink water first thing in the morning, before you dive into that cup of coffee or grab your phone? If the answer is rarely, then you might be setting yourself up for a less than optimal start to your day. When you wake up, your body has gone several hours without fluid intake. Your brain, in particular, is in a state of mild dehydration. And just like a car engine needs oil to run smoothly, your brain needs water to function at its best. Dehydration can lead to a number of issues: reduced focus, slower reaction times, and even mood fluctuations. It doesn't take much dehydration to feel the effects. A mere 2% drop in your body's hydration levels can cause cognitive impairment, reduced concentration, and fatigue. But here's the good news: by simply drinking a glass of water within the first 30 minutes of waking up, you can reset your brain and give it the fuel it needs to perform at its highest level. Water does more than just quench thirst. It helps oxygenate your blood, enhances the flow of nutrients to your brain, and supports the removal of toxins that have accumulated overnight. The act of drinking water in the morning gives your brain the hydration it needs to jumpstart its activity, improving focus, memory, and overall mental clarity. It also increases alertness without relying on caffeine. Think about it: when you're hydrated, your brain operates more efficiently, allowing you to make better decisions, think more clearly, and be more productive. It's like giving your brain a full charge before you tackle the day's challenges. And when you combine hydration with the other habits we're discussing, the impact multiplies. Imagine starting your day with sunlight, followed by a glass of water to rehydrate. You've just set the stage for a day where your brain is not only alert but firing on all cylinders. It's a small action, but it has a profound effect on how you feel and perform throughout the day. And if you make this a consistent habit, drinking water first thing in the morning for 21 days, you'll find that your energy, focus, and mood begin to stabilize and improve. It's a simple, yet incredibly powerful, practice that you can start today, and the benefits will be felt almost immediately. Let's move on to a habit that's incredibly simple, yet often overlooked: intentional movement. Now, when I say movement, I don't mean that you have to immediately hit the gym or go for a run, especially first thing in the morning. What I'm talking about is just 10 minutes of intentional movement, whether it's stretching, walking, or some light exercise. It sounds minimal, but its impact on your brain and body is profound. Here's the science behind it. When you engage in even a small amount of movement, you activate a complex system in your body known as the circulatory and lymphatic systems. This boosts blood flow, delivers oxygen to your tissues, and helps clear out metabolic waste products that have built up overnight. What does this mean for your brain? Essentially, it enhances neurogenesis, the process by which new neurons are formed, and it also increases the release of neurotransmitters like dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins, chemicals that are essential for focus, motivation, and overall well-being. This process doesn't just wake up your body, it wakes up your brain. Studies show that even light movement early in the day can increase mental clarity, improve mood, and give you a boost of energy that will last far longer than you might expect. Now, why 10 minutes? It's enough time to activate your nervous system without overloading it. This burst of activity helps set the tone for the rest of your day. You're essentially priming your body and brain to handle whatever challenges come your way. And here's another thing that movement does. It reduces the levels of stress hormones like cortisol. So, if you wake up feeling anxious or overwhelmed, a brief, intentional movement practice can help calm your nervous system. It's a reset, a way to start the day with balance, so when stress inevitably comes later, your body is better equipped to handle it. Incorporating 10 minutes of movement into your routine isn't about perfection. It's about building a consistent practice, one that you can rely on to ground yourself every single morning. As you continue this habit over 21 days, you'll notice not only an increase in your energy levels, but a significant improvement in how your body feels. Less tension, more flexibility, and greater overall strength. What's incredible is that the more you commit to this simple habit, the more natural it becomes. It's not about squeezing an hour of intense exercise into your morning. It's about consistently moving your body in a way that fuels you not just physically, but mentally and emotionally as well. And when you start to feel the cumulative effects of this practice over the next 21 days, you'll realize that something as small as 10 minutes of movement can shift the entire trajectory of your day. Let's talk about something that is often neglected, yet incredibly powerful in shaping how we experience stress and maintain focus throughout the day: deep breathing. Most of us take breathing for granted. We breathe naturally, automatically, without even thinking about it. But when you learn to engage in deep, controlled breathing, you can tap into one of the most powerful tools for regulating your nervous system, managing stress, and improving mental clarity. Here's the science. When we experience stress or anxiety, our body's sympathetic nervous system is activated. This is the fight or flight response, designed to keep us safe in moments of danger. However, in today's world, we're often living in a constant state of mild stress, whether it's due to work pressure, social media, or the endless stream of tasks and distractions. This chronic activation of the sympathetic system can lead to feelings of overwhelm, anxiety, and burnout. The beauty of deep breathing is that it helps us flip the switch, turning off that stress response and activating the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest mode, which brings calm, focus, and clarity. When you consciously slow your breath, especially when you focus on long, slow exhales, you activate the parasympathetic nervous system. This tells your brain, hey, it's okay to relax. A simple breathing technique that I highly recommend is the 4-7-8 method. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7 seconds, and exhale slowly for 8 seconds. Doing this for just 5 minutes a day can dramatically reduce stress levels, lower heart rate, and increase feelings of calmness and clarity. Why is this so important? Because the act of deep breathing allows you to reset your stress levels, making you less reactive and more present in the moment. When you practice deep breathing consistently, especially in the morning, you start your day with a baseline of calm, which enables you to tackle whatever comes your way with a clearer, more focused mind. The power of this practice is that it's something you can do anywhere at any time. Whether you're dealing with a difficult situation at work, feeling overwhelmed, or just need a quick reset during the day, you can use deep breathing as an immediate tool to regain composure and clarity. When you commit to practicing deep breathing regularly, say for just 5 minutes each morning, you begin to build a new skill set. Over the course of 21 days, you'll notice that your overall stress tolerance improves. You'll find yourself able to handle difficult situations with more poise and less anxiety. It's as if your brain becomes trained to shift from a reactive state into one of calm, focus, and control. This is the beauty of deep breathing. It's simple, free, and requires no special equipment. But when you make it a habit, it becomes an incredibly powerful tool for emotional regulation and cognitive performance. And when combined with the other habits we've talked about, like sunlight exposure and hydration, it will help you unlock a state of mind that's focused, energized, and poised to handle the challenges of the day. Now, let's dive into something that might feel almost too simple, but can have a profound impact on your mental clarity and emotional resilience: journaling. I know what you're probably thinking. What good is writing down my thoughts going to do for me? The truth is, journaling is one of the most powerful ways to organize your mind, offload mental clutter, and create a sense of clarity, especially in today's world where distractions are endless. Here's why it works. Our brains are bombarded with information all day long, and we're constantly trying to process thoughts, emotions, and tasks in real time. The problem is, this mental clutter can build up, creating stress, anxiety, and a lack of focus. By taking just a few minutes each day to write down your thoughts, whether it's a stream of consciousness, reflections on your day, or goals and aspirations, you're externalizing everything that's in your head. And that's critical. When you write things down, you allow your brain to offload that information, creating more mental space for what truly matters. This simple act of journaling activates a process called cognitive reframing, which allows you to look at problems and situations from a different perspective. When you put your thoughts on paper, you begin to see things more objectively. You start to break down complex emotions or situations, making them easier to manage and navigate. It's like having a conversation with yourself, but with the added benefit of clarity and detachment, which allows you to think more rationally and respond more effectively to challenges. But it doesn't stop there. Journaling also helps to regulate your emotions. Studies have shown that people who journal regularly report greater emotional clarity and better emotional regulation, meaning they are less likely to become overwhelmed by their feelings. It's as if the act of writing gives your brain the space it needs to process emotions without getting caught up in them. This makes you more resilient when you face difficult situations, whether that's a stressful workday or personal challenges, because you've already trained your mind to approach emotions with a sense of calm and clarity. There's another critical aspect to journaling that many people miss: goal setting. When you write down your goals, whether they're big or small, you're essentially putting them out into the world, creating a roadmap for your future. And when you do this daily, you reinforce those goals in your brain, making them clearer and more actionable. It's not just about listing tasks, it's about reflecting on what you truly want to accomplish, identifying the steps you need to take, and visualizing your path forward. This practice strengthens your ability to focus on what matters most and to avoid distractions that could pull you off course. Over the next 21 days, if you commit to journaling just 5 to 10 minutes each day, you'll begin to see changes in your mental clarity, emotional resilience, and ability to focus on what's important. You'll find that your mind is less cluttered, your emotions more stable, and your goals more tangible. What started as a small habit will become a critical tool in your daily routine for creating not just a more organized mind, but a more purposeful and intentional life. The beauty of journaling is that it's a personal practice. It's entirely up to you how you do it, but the key is consistency. When you make journaling a daily habit, you'll be amazed at how much it can transform your mindset, your mood, and your ability to achieve your goals. Let's now dive into one of the most foundational habits that often gets overlooked: sleep. We all know that sleep is important, but what most people don't realize is how much the quality of their sleep impacts everything from cognitive performance to emotional regulation. And here's the thing, it's not just about the number of hours you spend in bed, it's about how well you sleep. When you sleep, your brain is not just resting, it's actively repairing, consolidating memories, and processing emotions. Sleep is where your brain does a lot of its heavy lifting. It's when your body and brain recover from the stresses of the day, and it plays a critical role in the formation of new neural connections. But in order for your brain to perform at its best, the quality of your sleep needs to be optimal. This is why simply getting enough sleep isn't enough. It's about creating an environment and a routine that supports deep, restorative sleep. There's something powerful in the science of sleep hygiene, specific habits that help optimize the sleep process. For instance, exposure to bright light during the day, especially in the morning, helps to regulate your circadian rhythm, the internal clock that governs your sleep-wake cycle. But it's just as important to manage the light you're exposed to in the evening. The blue light emitted by screens from your phone, computer, or TV mimics daylight and signals to your brain that it should stay awake. If you want to improve the quality of your sleep, you need to avoid screens for at least an hour before bed. This helps signal to your brain that it's time to wind down and prepare for sleep, but there's more to it than just light. Consistency is key. Your body thrives on routines, and your sleep is no exception. Going to bed and waking up at the same time every day, even on weekends, strengthens your circadian rhythm. This creates a predictable sleep-wake cycle, which helps you fall asleep faster and wake up feeling more refreshed. Think of your body as a finely tuned instrument. When you give it the consistency it craves, it works much more efficiently. Another critical aspect of sleep hygiene is creating a sleep environment that's conducive to rest. This means keeping your room dark, cool, and quiet. Darkness signals to your body that it's time to release melatonin, the hormone that promotes sleep, while a cooler room temperature has been shown to improve sleep quality. A peaceful environment, free from distractions, allows your mind to fully relax, making it easier to fall into a deep sleep. Now, the impact of good sleep goes far beyond just feeling rested. When you improve your sleep, you're improving your cognitive function. Your ability to focus, make decisions, and solve problems improves dramatically. Studies have shown that after a night of quality sleep, people are more creative, more productive, and better at managing their emotions. In fact, your brain needs sleep to consolidate new memories and store information, making it a critical element in learning and performance. And here's something else: quality sleep helps regulate your mood. When you don't get enough restorative sleep, your brain struggles to manage emotions effectively, leading to irritability, stress, and a shorter fuse. But when you prioritize good sleep hygiene, you build resilience against stress and become more emotionally balanced throughout the day. If you begin implementing these habits, going to bed at the same time every night, avoiding screens before bed, keeping your environment dark and cool, you'll find that not only does your quality of sleep improve, but so does your mental clarity, emotional stability, and overall well-being. In 21 days, this practice can transform your energy levels, your focus, and your ability to handle the demands of daily life with ease and confidence. Sleep is your brain's reset button. When you give it the environment it needs to thrive, you'll begin to see the full impact of just how much better your day can be when you wake up truly refreshed. Now, let's address a fundamental principle that's often overlooked in the pursuit of self-improvement: consistency over perfection. We live in a world where we're constantly bombarded with the idea that we must be perfect, that we need to constantly perform at the highest level to achieve success. But here's the thing: perfection is a trap. It's an illusion that, more often than not, leads to burnout, frustration, and inaction. The real key to transforming your life lies not in trying to be perfect every time, but in being consistent, even when things aren't going as planned. Here's the neuroscience behind it. When you focus on consistency rather than perfection, you engage a part of your brain called the prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for planning, decision making, and goal setting. When you make something a consistent part of your routine, whether that's drinking water in the morning, journaling, or getting outside for sunlight exposure, you're creating a habit loop. This loop makes it easier for your brain to engage in the behavior without having to rely on willpower or motivation each time. And the beauty of this is that over time, the habit becomes ingrained. It's no longer a chore or a forced effort, it's simply a part of who you are. The problem with aiming for perfection, especially when starting new habits, is that it creates a sense of pressure. You might miss a day, or maybe you don't do it exactly the way you intended, and that can lead to negative self-talk and ultimately abandoning the habit altogether. But when you shift your focus to consistency, you start to approach the process with a different mindset. Instead of stressing over every small misstep, you accept that it's okay to be imperfect. Life will always throw curveballs, and there will be days when things don't go according to plan. But if you commit to being consistent, no matter how imperfectly, that's where the real magic happens. This concept of consistency over perfection is rooted in neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections in response to learning or experience. When you consistently engage in a new habit, your brain starts to form stronger and more efficient pathways. These pathways, over time, make it easier for you to stick to the habit, even on days when you don't feel perfect. Let's be clear, consistency doesn't mean doing everything flawlessly or doing everything all at once. It's about showing up day after day, even if it's just for a few minutes. Maybe you only journal for 5 minutes instead of the 20 you planned. Maybe you don't get the full 10 minutes of movement in the morning, but you still make the effort. The point is, you're building a habit, and habits are built through consistent, incremental steps, not through perfection. When you commit to this mindset for just 21 days, you'll start to see remarkable changes. Those small habits, practices you might have once thought insignificant, will start to compound. The consistency you put in will gradually transform your brain and body, building momentum that keeps you going even when things aren't perfect. And here's the best part. The more you focus on consistency rather than perfection, the more empowered you'll feel. You'll realize that you don't need to be perfect to be successful. You just need to be persistent. The small, imperfect actions you take every day will add up to something massive, something transformative. You'll find yourself moving forward not because you were flawless, but because you showed up again and again, day after day. Now, let's take a deeper dive into something truly fascinating, the concept of neuroplasticity. This is the brain's ability to rewire itself in response to new experiences, new habits, and new learning. It's not just a buzzword, it's the very foundation of how we change, grow, and adapt throughout our lives. And what's incredible is that the habits we're discussing, whether it's exposure to sunlight, hydration, movement, breathing, or even journaling, are directly linked to this very process of neuroplasticity. When you commit to these habits, even for just 21 days, you're literally reshaping your brain. Think about it this way. Your brain is like a muscle. It's constantly evolving, forming new connections, and strengthening the ones you use most frequently. But here's the kicker: neuroplasticity doesn't just happen automatically. It requires deliberate effort, consistent repetition, and intentional practice. This is where these small daily habits come into play. When you engage in them regularly, you're creating new neural pathways, reinforcing the circuits that support focus, emotional regulation, and resilience. The more you practice these habits, the more you strengthen those neural pathways, making it easier to perform those tasks without thinking about them. This is why, when you introduce a new habit, it often feels difficult or awkward at first. Your brain is in the process of adapting, of creating new neural circuits that support the behavior you're trying to establish, and this is why consistency is so critical. Neuroplasticity thrives on repetition. When you continue these small, consistent actions, you're giving your brain the time it needs to make these changes permanent. Over time, What once felt like a conscious effort becomes automatic. You don't have to remind yourself to drink water in the morning or to step outside for sunlight exposure. It becomes part of your routine because your brain has adapted. What's even more exciting is that neuroplasticity works both ways. Not only can you strengthen positive behaviors, but you can also weaken negative ones. If you've ever found yourself stuck in a cycle of stress, anxiety, or unproductive thought patterns, the great news is that you can break that cycle through the same principle of neuroplasticity. By consistently engaging in positive habits, like deep breathing or journaling, you begin to rewire the brain's stress response. Instead of reacting with anxiety or overwhelm, your brain will begin to respond with calm, clarity, and focus. And here's where the 21-day mark becomes so powerful. In just 3 weeks, the small habits you're practicing begin to have a noticeable effect on the structure and function of your brain. These changes may not be visible at first, but as you stick with them, they become more pronounced. Your brain's ability to manage stress improves, your focus sharpens, and you become more resilient to life's challenges. The beauty of neuroplasticity is that it's not limited to a specific age or stage in life. Whether you're 20 or 60, your brain remains capable of change as long as you give it the right stimuli and consistency. In a very real sense, over the next 21 days, you're not just changing your habits, you're changing the very way your brain operates. By making these small but powerful actions a regular part of your life, you're actively reprogramming your brain to be more focused, calm, and resilient. It's the science of change happening in real time, and the more you lean into it, the more profound the transformation will be. You're not just building better habits, you're building a better brain. Let's talk about something that can often be the silent game changer in your ability to perform at your best, the power of positive social connections. We are, by nature, social creatures, and the relationships we cultivate play a critical role in our mental and physical health. Whether it's the friends you interact with, the family members you stay connected to, or the colleagues you engage with, the quality of your social connections has an immense impact on how well you function in all areas of life. In fact, social interactions are one of the most powerful influences on your brain, influencing everything from your emotional regulation to your cognitive performance. Now, you might think that the most important thing is just having more social interactions. But it's not about quantity, it's about quality. The quality of your relationships, particularly those that are positive, supportive, and nurturing, has a direct effect on your brain's ability to handle stress, solve problems, and stay resilient in the face of challenges. When you're surrounded by people who uplift you, who provide support, and who encourage you to be your best self, your brain releases neurochemicals like oxytocin, and the bonding hormone, which helps reduce stress and anxiety, enhances your mood, and even boosts immune function. But it goes beyond just the positive interactions you have with others. The mere act of engaging socially triggers the brain's reward system, which releases dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and motivation. This means that engaging in meaningful conversations, laughing with friends, or simply spending time with those who bring you joy provides a biological reward that strengthens not only your emotional well-being, but also your cognitive performance. In other words, these interactions literally make you feel better and, in turn, improve your ability to think clearly, make decisions, and stay focused on your goals. The opposite is also true, though negative or toxic relationships can have the opposite effect. When you're involved in conflict or surrounded by negativity, your brain enters a state of heightened stress, activating the release of cortisol, the stress hormone. This impacts cognitive function, reduces mental clarity, and over time can lead to burnout and anxiety. This is why cultivating positive, meaningful social connections is so crucial to maintaining mental and emotional health. So, what does this look like in your daily life? It's about being intentional with the time you spend with others. Even if you're not in a situation where you can engage with others face-to-face, regular positive communication, whether it's through phone calls, messages, or social media, and have a significant impact on your brain. More importantly, seek out people who align with your values, who challenge you to grow, and who support you through difficult times. This creates a cycle where your brain thrives in environments of connection, positivity, and mutual support. Over the next 21 days, I encourage you to evaluate the social connections in your life. Are you spending time with people who uplift you? Are you engaging in conversations that are nourishing for your mind and emotions? Start by reaching out to those who inspire you, who challenge you to be better, and who make you feel valued. It's not about surrounding yourself with people all the time, but rather intentionally building relationships that strengthen your mental resilience and emotional well-being. As you make this a regular practice, you'll begin to notice the profound effect these connections have on your brain's ability to handle stress, increase your focus, and even improve your mood. The more positive social interactions you have, the more your brain releases the neurochemicals that support optimal functioning, leading to greater mental clarity, stronger emotional regulation, and increased overall well-being. And the beauty is that this is a habit that doesn't require you to change your entire life. It simply requires you to invest in the relationships that matter most and to surround yourself with people who lift you up rather than drain your energy. It's a subtle shift, but over time, it will have a transformative impact on your life. Finally, let's discuss something that is often overlooked but incredibly powerful in shaping how we feel and function every single day: nutrition. The food you put into your body is not just fuel. It's information for your brain. The nutrients, vitamins, and minerals you consume directly influence everything from cognitive performance and focus to mood regulation and overall energy levels. If you want to change your life in 21 days, one of the most transformative habits you can adopt is to pay closer attention to what you eat. Your brain is an energy-hungry organ, and it requires specific nutrients to function at its best. It thrives on a steady supply of glucose, which comes from carbohydrates, but it also needs healthy fats and proteins to maintain its structure and optimize neurotransmitter function. For example, omega-3 fatty acids, which are found in foods like fatty fish, flax seeds, and walnuts, are critical for brain health. They help to improve mood, reduce inflammation, and even enhance cognitive function, particularly in areas related to memory and learning. By incorporating more of these healthy fats into your diet, you're not just supporting your brain in the short term. You're also setting the stage for long-term mental resilience. Proteins, too, are essential for your brain's neurotransmitter system. Amino acids, the building blocks of proteins, help synthesize neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, which regulate mood, focus, and motivation. For instance, tryptophan, an amino acid found in turkey, eggs, and soy products, is converted into serotonin in the feel-good neurotransmitter. Low levels of serotonin are linked to feelings of anxiety and depression, so ensuring adequate protein intake can help maintain a balanced mood. Similarly, foods rich in antioxidants, like berries, dark chocolate, and leafy greens, help to protect the brain from oxidative stress, a key contributor to cognitive decline and emotional instability. But it's not just about the nutrients you need, it's also about the timing of when you eat. Research shows that eating at consistent times throughout the day, with balanced meals that include healthy fats, proteins, and carbohydrates, can help regulate your circadian rhythm, which is tied to your energy levels and overall productivity. Skipping meals or irregular eating patterns can disrupt your body's natural rhythms, leading to spikes and crashes in blood sugar that affect your mood and mental clarity. One of the most impactful shifts you can make is to start your day with a high-protein, balanced breakfast. Studies have shown that a high-protein breakfast can improve cognitive function and help stabilize your blood sugar levels throughout the day, reducing the risk of energy crashes and mood swings. This means that instead of starting your day with a sugary cereal or a simple carb-heavy snack, opt for something with protein and healthy fats, like eggs, avocado, or a protein smoothie. This simple change can have an immediate effect on your focus, energy, and overall well-being. Another important aspect of nutrition is hydration. Often, we forget that the brain is made up of nearly 75% water. Dehydration, even at mild levels, can impair cognitive function, reduce focus, and lead to irritability and fatigue. So, making sure you drink enough water throughout the day is critical. It's not just about chugging water when you're thirsty, it's about consistently staying hydrated. A good goal is to drink at least half your body weight in ounces of water daily, and remember, things like herbal teas and even water-rich foods like cucumbers or watermelon can contribute to hydration as well. In just 21 days, if you start paying more attention to the quality of your diet, the timing of your meals, and your hydration, you'll begin to feel a significant difference in your mental clarity, focus, and energy. It's not about drastic changes or extreme diets. It's about making small, sustainable improvements that support the brain and body you want to have. When you feed your brain the right fuel, it has the resources it needs to perform at its highest level. The result, you'll feel more focused, more energized, and more in control of your day-to-day life. It's a simple yet profoundly impactful habit that has the power to shift the way you feel, think, and perform.